Hello, I'm Ivan Wuchina. I'm here with Ian Wuchina, and we're going to go over books that I'm currently reading. Some Ian's already read, some he's currently reading too. And, that's right, I'm a man of substance. I read, and we're going to explore the stuff that's, going on in my mind right now that I'm reading. Yeah. All right, first, Mother's Boys, the movie tie-in edition of the Jamie Lee Curtis movie. It's actually a British novel, so it's a lot different from the movie, but some similar things the movie used. Check the movie out, it's fun. Now this...
It's a lot more racy than the movie.
Oh yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And this I'm the furthest in right now. I started reading this in third grade, Didn't remember any of it, so I figured I'd go back to it and finally give it the attention it deserves. Very good so far. Now this, Time for Andrew, I read in sixth grade English class. Miss LaFontaine, she was kind of not my favorite teacher, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, it was great. It's a fun book. I really enjoyed reading it then. I didn't really like reading all that much at that point, but this book kind of really took me away, even though I didn't read it on the allotted reading time. I was like a week behind in class on this book, but I finally did read it. And yeah, it's really good. Check it out. It's about a kid who goes back in time as his cousin in 1910. It was written in 1994. So he switched places. His cousin comes to the future. He goes back in time. It's really cool. Check it out. And White, by one of my favorite authors, Bret, Easton, Ellis, who did American Psycho, Rules of Attraction, lots of good stuff, The Informers. Well, this is his most recent book and his first nonfiction book. Also, Lunar Park is a good book by him. Check that out. Anyway, it's White. It's kind of an autobiography, but it's he goes through, it's a political book too. He just gives his crazy, unique perspective on the current political climate and all that stuff. Yeah. And it's really good. Still reading that one. And of course, The Wolf of Wall Street. The other day I was like, I need to read that book. I love the movie so much. Saw it in the theater twice. The first time with my brother Zeph during Christmas break in my first year of grad school, which was a lot of fun. And then it was still at the theater in Memphis, the Wolf Chase Theater. So Ian and I saw it one day in March. We saw, what was the movie we saw on the same day?
Lawrence of Arabia.
So we saw Lawrence of Arabia for class that day at the Paradiso
Malco
Theater.
Paradiso.
It's almost 4 hours long. Then we went and saw a 3-hour movie right after it, and by the time we got home, our eyes were so strained, but it was a great day.
That's a good, yeah.
Yeah, awesome day. Awesome book, I'm sure. Saturnalia, it's by Justin Chapman. He's a former child star. He was the star of Problem Child 3 and a lot of other good stuff.
He also works in politics now.
Yeah, he's the youngest elected member of the Pasadena City Council. I think he was 19 at the time. So yeah, he's a really cool dude. Follow him on Twitter. This is his book. It's about a trip he took across Africa. Very cool. Very well written. It's got amazing photos from his trip too in it.
Yeah, a couple of years ago we met Larry Karaszewski at a film festival. The writer of the Problem Child movies. He produced a third one even though he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and he's like,
and Justin Chapman is actually the kid who took over for Michael Oliver in Problem Child 3.
Yeah, Larry Karaszewski is like, what do you guys know about the kid from the third movie?
And we had a wealth of things to tell him because we followed him.
Yeah, I know that. I know about him. I actually own his book. I told him the whole thing about him being a member of the Pasadena City Council, all this cool
So we gave him Larry Karaszewski. Justin Chapman, we gave Larry Karaszewski the nice little update on you. He really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and this is a very good book. Anybody who enjoys, travel log type stuff or any good book at all, just read it. Got that one on Amazon in 2011, 2012-ish. But I'm reading it again. Now this, Brian Banks with Mark D'Agostino, What Set Me Free. It's Brian Banks' autobiography about his story. We worked on the Brian Banks movie that was filmed in Memphis, directed by Tom Shadyac. Check it out. On Blu-ray and rental now.
Check out our Greg Kinnear interview.
Yeah, this one of the stars of the movie. Check it out. We got an interview with Greg Kinnear about Brian Banks and his amazing career.
And that's on our Wuchina Twins Films page.
His amazing career as an Oscar nominee, which is really cool. But and this is the movie tie-in edition. See the story that inspired the major motion picture of Brian Banks. I love my movie tie-in editions, as you can see. Yeah. But it's really good so far, Brian. It's funny reading it because I end up reading a lot of things that we filmed when we were making the movie that didn't make it into the movie, but are still in the book, like little things that happened, and just other stuff. Yeah, they really cut a lot out of the movie. I wish they would have put those deleted scenes on the Blu-ray. But this is cool because it's I get to read those deleted scenes that were days of filming that didn't make it into the movie or in the books. That's cool.
A lot of locations.
And his story is just so inspiring and just.
We did locations for that movie.
Yeah, we did set location.
We don't recommend that position.
Yeah, it's all right. But this is fun. Well, it's fun, being a part of this whole thing, and part of that movie.
Oh, Brian was such a nice guy.
It's also very inspiring. Brian was one of the nicest.
He was on set pretty much every day. He was the nicest dude ever.
Yeah, and it's great to finally read his whole.
Getting to see him and Aldous Hodge, who played him in the film. Getting to see those two buddy up on set was also really fun.
Yeah. And he's just been through so much shit, terrible shit, and just to see him come through, and overcome all that and have this amazing life now, it's just very, very inspiring.
Yep.
Read it. And last but not least, Philly by Dan Greenburg.
I've actually read this one.
It's one of our favorite movies, Private Lessons from 1981, is based off this book. And the movie's a little more comedic, a little more of a farce, but
great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. Really, really.
The book, Miss Mallow's older and not as attractive. She's kind of got some love handles sort of thing.
Like
she's
In
blonde.
the movie, she's like 25
and she's not like attractive. It's like the complete opposite of Sylvia Crystal in the movie.
Yeah, of course. She's Emanuela.
In the movie, plays a little bit more on the sinister side of like the cab driver and like how Nicole Mallow helps him out. Mm-hmm. In the Howard Hesseman, his character in the book is actually a younger man, like the guy in his like early to mid 20s, who's the driver, and.
There's Dan Greenburg. Dan
Greenburg, yeah.
When was this written? 68?
Yeah, late 60s.
The movie was 81, so yeah.
And Dan Greenburg there, he actually has a cameo in the film as the hotel attendant.
And this is actually a first edition. It's hard to get now. I guess when Ian bought it, the guy didn't know much.
I think I bought it from one of those.
It might not have been worth as much a few years ago, but now it's pretty hard to find.
Oh yeah, I got it in 2013. So I read it at last time we were at Bonnaroo. I read it while I was working the information tent at Bonnaroo. Kill time.
Just very moody, very picturesque in a lot of ways. You really feel like you're there when you're reading it. It's a summer book, it's set in the summer. One of my favorite times of year to read. For anything.
Philly's rich in the book, but in the book his house is different. He doesn't live in this rustic mansion that looks like it's in New Mexico or Arizona somewhere. He lives in like a futuristic house in the suburbs of Chicago.
Or New Mexico, this is Chicago,
Yeah, and he lives in like a futuristic house with big windows and elevators and things like that.
So there you have it. Focus on the books, please, not me. So there you have it. Here's all the books I'm reading. And they're pretty awesome. Oh, wait, here's one I forgot. It's the great, it's Halloween season, so it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Yay! Got this as a gift from my mom a couple years ago, but it's good, yeah. Thank you for watching.